So we've seen some really interesting and good games on one side of the ball here in the first round of the playoffs. Surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly at all, much of the narrative has been around the blowouts here in the first round, specifically from teams like Indiana and SMU. Two teams that played weaker schedules this year, but, to their credit, they won those games. And in Indiana's credit, they won like 8 games, like scoring 40-plus points. So is the way that the playoff currently is set up, is that the best way to do it moving forward, or would you make some adjustments to this group?
You got to make an adjustments towards the seeding and the way that we're giving that first, second, third, and fourth seed towards a conference champs. We really just needed to give it to the teams that are the best. And right now we're in a situation where we're talking about most deserving versus the team that really is the best football team. Because I think when you look at the entire situation, yes, there are some teams who earned it, who played an entire season. We do not want to diminish the regular season, but the fact of the matter is not all schedules are built the same. Not all conferences are built the same. So even though you lose 2 or 3 games or 1 or 2 games, I'm talking to you, South Carolina, I'm talking to you, Alabama, I'm talking to you, Ole Miss, you can have an argument as to, hey, we would have shown you a better product than SMU and Penn State. We would have shown you a better product than Indiana and Notre Dame.
There's got to be some common sense and logic to this process that I don't know. Like,
well, can we just create a formula that the committee holds themselves to, right? Strength of schedule has to matter. Has to matter. Indiana being 51st in the country in strength of schedule, that's a problem to me. That is a glaring problem. The other thing, the conferences are too big. So where we need to start, we need to have some sort of committee that schedules the country.
What do you mean by that?
We need more crossover games. We need more SEC versus ACC, ACC versus Big Ten. We need more of these matchups.
For more data points to compare.
More data points, more crossover, more good games for us to really evaluate who is good and who is not, right? And for us to have a better feel for the strength of the conferences and what we're seeing on a week-to-week basis. The other thing, right, is just we need to go back to divisions. We need to go back to divisions to simplify conference play and conference rankings. And the other thing, for me, big picture, get rid of conference championships.
Wow.
Let's move on.
You want that out completely?
I know it's cute, but it's over. Let go. It's over. We're in a new day and age. Like I said to you guys, man, hey, top 4 teams in the top 4 conferences, you go to the playoffs, no buys, let's get right into it and go, man.
Yeah.
And why are we dragging the season out for so long?
That's what chat is saying here as I'm looking at, they're saying strength of schedule should matter.
Should be everything.
Okay,
right?
but if I'm a coach, what's my incentive to going out and scheduling a tough game?
Don't worry about it. We're not even going to let you do it.
Exactly.
We're not going to let you do it.
Yeah.
We need to put, the NCAA needs to actually be a competent business, right, that takes control of the business and says, we are going to make sure that we get this cross-conference play consistently, right? So this year or this upcoming year would be like the SEC versus the ACC, right? The Big Ten, right, versus the Big 12.
College basketball does that all the time.
We need more opportunities like that so we can understand, all right, who is actually good, who is not good, and we need to get rid of some of these other games. I know it's important for these smaller schools to get these games versus these big-time programs because it's essentially paying for the school itself, and that's important. But for the system that I think that everyone is trying to get to, that I don't think that's beneficial for a better
and I want to make this clear
for
the chat because someone just said conference championships should matter, and they do matter. We think they should give you an opportunity to play, but taking a look at social media right now and the things that are being said, Tennessee fans is for 30% of the stadium. That is a team where the away team traveled really well. And the SEC, as much as they want to say it matters, we need to get more teams in. It didn't look good seeing you get beat by Ohio State.
Now listen, I didn't want to see Miami either. So don't even put DraftKings. Don't even keep Miami in there.
But they might have scored a little bit more. But we talked about running game and defense is really what matters.
All right, listen, they would have lost 70-40. Great, really exciting. Come on, man. No, I'm a little too aggressive. But my problem is we extended the playoff so we could say, hey, you got a chance. All right. Good for you. It's too hard.
Right.
All right, you're still not good. The truth is that there's really probably only about 5 or 6 teams every year in college football that can really win a championship consistently. and we're letting the others have an opportunity
how about this?
at it.
If this first week, if Alabama and South Carolina were actually in this college football playoff and they replaced Indiana and let's say SMU, would this have been a completely different week 1 in terms of the quality of matchups?
You know how I feel about South Carolina, and that's where I kind of go back to like my NFL background too. Like South Carolina to me was the hottest football team in the country. They were playing tough. They were playing physical. They out-hit Clemson. You know, we saw that, and that's a rivalry game, so that's like a little bit of a one-off game.
And South Carolina does those
different.
They play defense well, and as the end of the season started to approach, Lenore Sullivan is starting to run the ball really well at a high level. Probably, honestly, with the best of them in the entire country when you talk about a quarterback that can hit you with his legs. Yeah. And then you got Sampson, you got Kennard. The way that they're able to rush the passer and playing that defensive front. I mean, it would have been a better game, in my opinion, to see it that way.
We can do the hypotheticals all day long.
No doubt.
But again, I think what we did learn is that home field advantage is a massive advantage
for
come
sure.
playoff time. So I don't know. We could throw
playing in the cold is difficult.
It is.
And that is a whole other
hard.
preparation in itself too for quarterbacks. We saw Kevin Jennings struggle with that today.
This is going to be a narrative that's probably going to be talked about all throughout this playoff. How are we going to fix it going forward? Is it right? Is it not right?
No doubt.
And it was a topic that was brought up on College Game Day earlier today.
Indiana was outclassed in that game. They should not physically, it was not a team that should have been on that field when you consider other teams that could have been there. It's no knock on Indiana. They had a great year, but we've got to move forward with the playoff and hope that the committee does a better job of weighing who the best 12 are versus who's the most deserving, because by golly, they got 11 wins. They didn't beat anybody, but they got 11 wins. That's a bunch of BS. We need to find the best teams, and that's last night. It was incredibly evident just standing on that field and watching the game and the way it played out.